Subodh and Guru in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, bigger news for you guys. Well, did you know that Manchester United played West Brom twice in a friendly game yesterday, and United lost their first friendly versus West Brom by 2-1, with Bruno Fernandes and Paul Labile Pogba starting in that game, and the second game that they won, and Spurs reportedly lost to Norwich City as well. And also, they won the second the second match by 3-1, Manchester United. And Norwich beat Spurs 2-1 in a friendly as well. So Joshua Martin shared this. So congratulations, by the way. More on it, you'll come to know. But moving on, well, talks with both Aubameyang and Lacazette over an extension have been delayed by the coronavirus pandemic. But the club know resolving the situation with their two-star strikers is central to wider squad planning involving a lot of other buying players. So moving on, talking about it, well, Aubameyang and Lacazette are good friends, but both want to hear the club's vision under Arteta, particularly in light of the financial pressures many Premier League clubs are experiencing as a result of the virus. Well, moving on, the Norwich City posted this in their official Twitter that we beat Spurs official 2 by 1 in a behind closed doors friendly this afternoon. Eric Lamela put the hosts ahead, but we responded with the goals from Joseph Jermic and Mario Vrancic to win. Congratulations, Norwich. And most importantly, I think this could be a good big jolt for Spurs, but I hope it's just a friendly, and one should not think too much with it, because these things doesn't add up 3 points on a win and 1 point on a draw. So let's wait for the Premier League to start. But moving on, Arsenal injury news update, ladies and gentlemen. You guys were waiting for this. Somebody actually commented and told me that they would want to hear it. But moving on, well, one good thing for Mikel Arteta is that the delay gave most of his injured players more time to recover, and many are now possibly making a comeback before the end of the season. Number one, Shkodran Mustafi, the German defender, had to be replaced by Socrates in the first half of extra time against Olympiacos in the Europa League at the end of February. He was back in training ahead of FA Cup clash against Portsmouth, but didn't travel with the squad. And despite looking like he would return for the West Ham game, he missed out due to a thigh issue suffered in training. Mustafi is now past his injury issues and will be in contention to face Manchester City. Lucas Torreira. Prior to football being suspended, Arsenal confirmed that Lucas Torreira was set to miss the rest of the season after ruling the midfielder out for 8 to 10 weeks. The midfielder suffered a fractured ankle in the last week's 2-0 win at Fratton Park in the 5th round of the FA Cup after a heavy challenge from Pompey defender James Bolton. The 24-year-old had to be stretchered off and was seen after the game leaving the stadium in a protected boot and crutches. At the current time, Torreira's injury was seen as a cruel blow to Mikel Arteta, but the delay in the season means that the midfielder may still play a part, with medical expert Dr. Rajpal Brar saying that the player could return to action in mid-May. That's turned out to be the case, as he returned to training last week, but is still lacking match sharpness. But he'll take some time, so Lucas Torreira will definitely not start against Manchester City. Sead Kolasinac. Well, Sead Kolasinac was set to undergo a specialist assessment on a significant shoulder injury sustained in the win against Everton. The Bosnian fullback was substituted early on in the 3-2 win against the Toffees after sustaining an injury on his right shoulder, and was replaced by Bukayo Saka. It was thought that Kolasinac would be facing a spell on the sidelines, but Gunners confirmed that the defender was hoping to be back in full training by the end of March, has been in full training since last month, and is battling Kieran Tierney for the left-back spot, so he's very much available. Next comes Callum Chambers. The defender is a long-term casualty after rupturing the anterior cruciate ligament of his left knee. He has undergone surgery, meaning that he will be out of action for a period of about 6 to 9 months, meaning that he won't feature again this season despite the delay. But Chambers did participate in a training session recently, but is still a long way off from returning to action. The expected return date is 29th of August 2020. Kieran Tierney, ladies and gentlemen, yes, about Kieran Tierney, the Scottish left-back had to be withdrawn after 29 minutes against West Ham back in December after he landed awkwardly in his own box, picking up a shoulder injury. Though Arsenal confirmed that the fullback was back in full training ahead of the West Ham win, he did not make the matchday squad. A few more months have passed, and this means Tierney is ready to return. A deadline day signing from Southampton. Well, talking about Cedric Soares, he has not played since injuring his knee in his last Premier League game for the Saints against Crystal Palace. Has been back in full training and will be counting down the days until the Arsenal debut. However, a facial injury coupled with his contract status means he may not get the chance to play for the Gunners, but it is subject to Arsenal. Well, moving on. Well, this is what Arsenal players are posting on social media. They're supporting Black Lives Matter and they're making it felt. Kieran Cheney posted, "We, the players, stand together with the singular objective of eradicating racial prejudice wherever it exists to bring about a global society of inclusion, respect, and equal opportunities for all, regardless of their color or creed." And Eddie and Katia posted, "Until justice and Black Lives Matter" with this image. Hector Bellerin posted, "We the play," same thing, that exactly what Kieran Tierney had posted along with this image. So you can see the players are definitely in for the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, moving on, Karen Brady, ladies and gentlemen, expanded her praise of the Premier League players' actions for Black Lives Matter. She said, "Some Premier League club captains are only in their early 20s, but understand that by speaking out against racial injustice, they are in a unique position of being able to back a cause that can have a permanent and impactful change on society to make things better for future generations. Wearing a Black Lives Matter message on their shirts is a peaceful and powerful message that will have a massive global impact, with every Premier League match being broadcast across the globe, reaching 212 territories, 643 million homes. At West Ham, our players will today stand together at London Stadium and show the world exactly what we represent by posing for a socially distanced squad photograph in support of the fight against racism and discrimination." Well, also moving on, Atletico Madrid continue to maintain an interest in Lacazette despite standing on the brink, completing the permanent signing of Alvaro Morata from Chelsea. Thomas Partey is still in the interest to Arsenal, but sources have told ESPN that the two clubs have not yet explored a swap deal involving Lacazette in any serious deal due to club's reluctance to make a definitive decision, while Aubameyang's future is still unclear. Well, moving on, Sportsmail has learned that two top English clubs have been alerted to Ramsey's availability this week ahead of the summer transfer window. He has a contract until the summer of 2023 that pays him an astonishing 400k a week. Wow, that's even higher than Mesut Ozil. So in England, clubs such as Manchester United would definitely have an interest, but not at that salary. That means Ramsey would either have to take a cut or move somewhere on loan, with Juventus continuing to pay at least some of his salary. Well, moving on, Justin Kluivert, ladies and gentlemen, towards the Premier League. Well, Mkhitaryan, who remains in Trigoria, Rome and Arsenal are working on it seriously in recent hours. Well, Kluivert is the key to Mkhitaryan. The negotiation with Arsenal gets underway. The two clubs are already talking about it, with Mino Raiola not too obscure directing a 40 million euro operation and a rich capital gain in the Trigoria coffers, more than 25 million. Kluivert towards the Premier League. Mkhitaryan still going to Roma, could be permanent. Well, moving on, Atletico Madrid and Thomas Partey will sit down to discuss the improved contractual terms at the end of the season. Arsenal have made movements to try and sign the player, and Atletico Madrid still are holding out on Thomas Partey. Lacazette's deal runs out a year later, meaning the club are in stronger position to negotiate with the striker. However, Arteta has been told player sales will be key to boosting funds to overhaul his squad this summer. Lacazette could fetch as much as £60 million this summer. Well, moving on, the biggest news, ladies and gentlemen, Hector Bellerin has spoken up about his Arsenal squad deciding to accept the pay cuts. He says, "We have gone through some tough conversations as a team and as staff members. With the pay cut, we had to decide between us. We all did this for the good of the people, the club, that work for the club as well." Well, also he said, "I just don't speak for me and Oba, but many players. We got many messages from staff saying they now feel safe and can still work and get paid. There are situations that could build negativity, but we found something positive in it, and it has brought us together as a family." That's really great, isn't it? Brentford's Derby Soglu on scoring at the Emirates. He says, "I've played at the Quip in the arena, but that was really the most beautiful stadium in which I've ever played football. Even without a crowd, it was unparalleled. And then you get to score. Really, I have no words for it." Such is the stature of the Emirates, isn't it? Well, talking about the bigger news and almost unbelievable and uncertain things, well, Spanish giants Real Madrid and also out of the blues, Arsenal are also interested in plotting a summer move for Joe Raheem Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne. Well, the wages will definitely be a problem, and definitely the amount of money that Arsenal would want to spend on these two, but the prolific pair have been instrumental in City's success in recent years, but may leave this summer should the Blues' Champions League ban appeal prove unsuccessful. Real Madrid are said to be keeping an eye on the outcome of the appeal, and that would definitely mean that both of them will be available, and definitely Arsenal should definitely pounce on it. Well, moving on, Chelsea are lining up a summer move for Paris Saint-Germain left back Levan Kurzawa. The 27-year-old is now able to leave the recent crowned French champions for free. And while it was Arsenal who reportedly made a move for him in January, it's Chelsea who are set to make a move. Celtic striker Odsonne Edouard has been crowned the Scottish Football Writers Association Player of the Year. The 22-year-old, whose Arsenal target saw off competition from teammate Callum McGregor, Rangers forward Alfredo Morelos, and Dundee United striker Lawrence Shankland. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All the views and news and everything about Arsenal comes on this platform every single day, twice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy all the news that comes on this platform. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe because we are on a mission to reach 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We're not far off. And a massive shout out to Paddy Fitzpatrick. If he's watching this video, please consider yourself lucky and definitely subscribe to this channel. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe.